welcome to the Jackson Clyde. I'm Jamin.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Olivia.
Who didn't dress like everyone else. Super weird, Olivia.
I don't
Super
have
weird.
the same shirt as you guys.
And we're playing another round of Someone Has Died. Now, the last time we played this, it was the first time we tried it, so it was a little slower pace, but I think we get it now. Basically, Casey's going to be our game master. He's the judge. Someone has died. He will tell us who, and he will tell us what they left behind. And me and Olivia have a relationship to the deceased, and we will try to explain why we think one of us should get it based on the identity that we've been given, our relationship with the deceased, and then backstory cards that get added in along the way. Now, if Casey wants to give us some bonus points because we say something funny or he just wants to help one of us out, he can give us some black cards, which are objection cards. And when we state those objections, they become immediately true against the other person, and the game continues as we tell this story until Casey finally makes a judgment call as to who wins. If that sounds confusing, it won't be once we get going, and we're about to do that now.
So the identity of the person that has died was a Bigfoot enthusiast. So he's the one that's died, and he's left you real evidence that Bigfoot exists. So his real evidence that Bigfoot not only exists, but it also has monetary value in the Bigfoot community. $1 million.
Okay. Are you ready to make your...
I think I'm ready.
All right, Olivia's going first this time. So she will now explain why she thinks that she should win.
Hello, I am the Bigfoot enthusiast's whimsical nanny. I had such a great relationship with this person that we did not give a name to once again.
Let's go with Frank.
Frank. Such a great relationship with Frank. He was just a wonderful child. And, in fact, he is the one that first told me that I should go into voice acting. And I followed that dream of mine. And I was the first one to give him a plant ever. In fact, it was a Venus flytrap. And that just sparked something in him, led him out to nature, where he first got his first glimpse of the Bigfoot. So, yes, me and Frank, I mean, we were in each other's lives for so long, since he was just a wee little lad. And I even have this cast from when I broke my arm while babysitting him. And he signed it. And I've kept that ever since, because I just believed that one day when he finally published his Bigfoot findings that this little signed thing would be mighty important to the world.
Okay. Well, thank you, Miss Nanny.
Karen.
Miss Nanny Karen.
Okay. You want to handle this for a minute?
Oh.
Hello.
Next.
Hello then. My name is John, but people usually just go by the name Spiderface. Mostly on behalf of all the spiders on my face. But I usually find a way to hide it. Most people actually call me Nixon, because I usually just wear a rubber mask everywhere I go of Richard Nixon. If I took this off, people obviously would be terrified by my
Spider face.
My spider face, yes. Anyways, the way in which I know the deceased, Frank. So many names of the people that I work with. I'm a parole officer, and I confused him with my other one, Fred. There's also Francis and Flip Gibbons. Many people. They come over to Spiderface Enterprises and I speak with them about all kinds of things. Mostly their parole. Anyways, I would very much like the bequeathing to come to me. This is mostly because I brought Monopoly, which is the one board game that I owned, and when I was younger, it truly made me want to, well, have a lot of money in life, so that I can buy a real Park Place.
Objection! You're clearly 3 kids in a trench coat!
Dang it, they caught us again, Jimmy. Shut up, John. Ignore my stomach. It makes noises sometimes. Shut up down there. Listen not to whatever they say. Yes, anyways.
Okay.
This brings us to round 2, where Casey now asks each one of us a question, and we have to take a new backstory card and implement it.
So, going back to Nanny Karen,
Yes.
how much contact did you have with Frank while he was on his expeditions?
Well, Frank would often call me for advice when on these expeditions, you see, because I taught him how to drive a Segway, and the Segway would have trouble making its way through the woods because he always took a Segway with him everywhere he went. You see, the things I taught him were just so important and beneficial to his life that sometimes I think he took them a little too far. But whenever the Segway would get a branch stuck in a wheel or make so much noise that it scared away Bigfoot, I would give him advice on how to unhook any branches and how to oil it so it would be a bit quieter to keep things going. So I was beneficial for his life long after he grew up.
Okay. And Spider-Face kids?
Yes. Shut up.
What did he get charged with that made him be arrested for him to be on parole?
Well, it's a confusing story. The news was that he was mugged by a Times Square mascot.
Was it
What?
one dressed up as Bigfoot?
But the Times Square mascot actually, well, he beat him up, is what we learned in the background, and had to take him to jail. You can't just mug Times Square mascots, apparently.
Okay. It's just one question each, right?
Yep.
And then now we're on to free
We're
statements.
under recess. Would you like to converse with me or anything? I know you're not who you say you are,
Oh?
or that you have further background with the deceased.
Well, there are many things that happened along his life that I can't
No.
squeeze into.
I know that you met the deceased in a past life, back when you were a psychoanalyst, and that seems weird.
Well, like I said, I have given much progress to his life.
You-
I didn't mean just this life. I also helped him immensely in our past lives. You see,
No.
we are kindred souls that manage to always find each other. And while it's not a romantic thing, I promise you,
You're a nanny, I would sure hope not. In fact, I know you're not even much of a nanny because you've never even seen The Lion King.
I just...
Yes, he's never seen The Lion King.
I refuse to watch furries. I won't do it. It's not appropriate for the children.
How dare you? Well, that's about all I have, I guess, against you. Very well. I guess we go inside now.
Well, I have a question for you, sir.
I don't have time to answer it. Let's go.
It's just, you say that you were a parole officer, but how could someone with a serial shoplifting addiction be a parole officer? I think that'd be illegal.
I met Jesus and got my life together.
Which one of you?
All of us. Yeah, well, I don't like your face.
I am a nanny. I am getting a little bit older, and I think that we shouldn't be afraid of aging. These wrinkles show that I have lived, and I will not apologize for them.
I send my spiders at her. Can I do that? Do I
Sure.
roll for initiative or something?
No, although you send them at her, but they just come crawling back to you. They don't even do anything.
Well, what do you have to say for the face on the back of your head?
What is wrong with my man?
What is a bartender doing around 3 children?
To be honest, I have no idea. I'm a spider-faced man. But I'm really 3 children stacked on top of each other with a head on the back of my head.
A bartender on the back of your head.
I can't explain any more than I already have. What is happening right now?
All right. So on to the final things.
Yeah.
You have final statements.
Yes. I, Karen, the nanny, cared so much for Frank in his lifetimes.
I think even too much. You had fan fiction about the deceased. Sounds like real stalker vibes to me. Maybe you killed him.
No. You see, if you had known about the stories he told about Bigfoot, you couldn't help but write them down. You call it fan fiction, but I call it fan fact. Anyway.
It's fan nonfiction, technically. But...
And your last statement?
Wait, I wasn't done.
Oh, sorry.
You see, I provided benefit to his lives, and this search for Bigfoot meant more than just to Frank. It meant a lot to me, too. Now, this man, he would sell that info for the monetary gain, but I,
Man?
child thing, I would use that info to continue the story of Bigfoot that our dear Frank was trying to tell. I pass
All right.
the microphone.
On to the final.
My guy just slowly walks up to you, and you hear children whispering through his coat, and you don't know what they're saying, but it kind of sounds creepy. And then he takes off his Richard Nixon mask, and you see all the spiders running around, but then he just spins his head around. There's a bartender who's like, and he's purely taunting you, it seems. And you hear the children, give us the footage.
Objection! This man is very clearly a murderer. And I think he might have murdered Frank.
He does
You
have a lot
cannot
of,
give him anything.
He does have a lot of faces.
Based on how I look, I clearly am the murderer. I think you're right. I'm not even going to object to that.
Also,
Yes, and I'll murder you too.
your fly is down.
This is
Pull yourself together, fool.
clearly the most embarrassing moment of my life, and I will still kill you if you don't give
Is
me.
what, that the child's nose sticking out of the fly at that point? Is that?
Okay, give it to me now.
All right, based on the statements that you've presented, the answers to the questions, your relationship to the deceased, Nanny Karen wins.
And he eats you.
Thank you.
And you die, and that's.
I'm going to be so rich.
Okay, well, the last time we played this was very different. You'll have to just go watch that, because I don't know what just happened here, but I'm going to have nightmares.
It was great, but I maybe you have given out way too many objection cards.
I'm going to have nightmares.